What's going on, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to FudgeMuppet. My name is Michael, and today I'm going to be taking you through our first ever Skyrim build on FudgeMuppet, the Witch Doctor. This is obviously a redone build and was first released back in 2013 before YouTube ended up deleting it. I feel like so many of our subscribers never got to see this build, so I hope you all enjoy this. Also, speaking of old times, we might be doing some random Elder Scrolls Let's Play episodes soon, so keep your eyes peeled for those. The Witch Doctor is very much like a sort of voodoo priest and will look and act the part. She's a very aesthetic build, and as you can tell, she's a red guard. This will give you access to the Adrenaline Rush ability, which is handy to have for firing off multiple power attacks. However, this build isn't a basic warrior. She has a wide variety of major skills, and they are Alchemy, Conjuration, Light Armor, and of course, one-handed. Light armor will be used to keep this build fortified and also allows us to use armor types which really create the perfect look for any Witch Doctor character. I also should mention that if you want to make some sort of male version of this build, you can, however we much prefer the female. Before obtaining forsworn armor, you can use fur armor, which is basically found all around Skyrim. Be sure to experiment with multiple variants to find the one you like the best. I must say I did choose the Red Guard race simply for visual reasons, and she really does look great if you use the same face paint and hairstyle that we chose. Starting as a Red Guard will also give you plus 10 to one-handed, which is great for this build. This is mostly helpful during the early stages of the game. It's also useful early on to get yourself some enchanted forsworn armor, specifically the armor of the old gods. You can get this after finishing the Forsworn Conspiracy quest. To start this quest, simply head to Markarth, and from here the quest is pretty much rammed down your throat. This quest is really great for roleplaying, as your character can create an alliance with the Forsworn, which also helps to further explain her black magic abilities, which will be conveyed using Conjuration. You'll want to use spells like Reanimate Undead, Revenant, and Dread Zombie. Personally, I like to put one of these spells in my left hand with a war axe in my right. The last major skill you'll need, besides one-handed, which is self-explanatory, is Alchemy. Alchemy fits in perfectly with the Witch Doctor theme, as they're known to be experts with poisons that harm their enemies. You'll be applying these poisons to your war axe, and I recommend a forsworn axe for aesthetic purposes, but if you want to change this and use something else, you can. After all, Skyrim is all about customizing the way that you want to. So just to summarize your major skills and combat style, the Witch Doctor uses a poison-drenched war axe to fight enemies alongside her undead thralls, all whilst being dressed in armor that gives her decent protection while allowing for fast movement. With major skills out of the way, let's talk about minor skills. Your minor skills are going to be Sneak, Enchanting, Smithing, and Restoration. Smithing and Enchanting are both useful simply because you're using armor that only has moderate base stats, so on higher levels you'll have to upgrade. Thankfully, in terms of perks, you'll only need Steel Smithing for your axe, and your armor can be smithed without any perks at all. We'll have a perk link put in the description so you can find the exact perks this build needs for all her skills. Make sure to also use a smithing potion before you upgrade to get the highest possible stats. These stats also won't be super high, but what the Witch Doctor lacks in stats, she makes up for with the use of necromancy and poisons. With enchanting, you'll want to max out the middle branch of the tree so you can buff your armor with effects such as Fortify Light Armor and Fortify Stamina. The enchantments are up to you, and we also recommend choosing things that reduce casting costs and increase damage. We're wearing the Bonehawk Amulet and the Bonehawk Ring, which you can only access if you have the Dawnguard DLC. They fit in really well with roleplaying this build, and they also serve as more slots for enchantments to be placed on. We suggest enchanting a ring with Fortify Alchemy to make your poisons better. The next minor skill I'll talk about is Restoration. Restoration is great for keeping your character alive throughout your playthrough, and one spell you'll want to use besides the basic healing ones is Heal Undead. This can be used on thralls to keep them alive, and if you have the Respite perk, it will be even more effective by giving them stamina. Respite will also give you stamina when you heal yourself, allowing you to power attack more. If you follow what I did and get the Necromage perk as well, you'll be restoring even more health and stamina on your undead minions. If you don't want to use Restoration, you can actually switch it out for Pickpocket. You'll want the poison perk so you can place poison in your enemy's pockets and for some reason they'll consume it and often die. This would pair very nicely with Sneak, your other minor skill. Sneak will be mainly used to stay hidden and stay away from undesirable battles, however it can also be used to great advantage if you use it with one-handed. Sneak can also be used to hide while your reanimated targets fight for you. That said, it's not a hugely important minor skill, but it's one we decided this build could definitely benefit from. In terms of a stat spread, we're going to be having 20% stamina, 40% health, and 40% magicka. 40% magicka will be more than enough for all your conjuration needs and really lets you go over the top with conjuration spells if you want to. Remember, if you desire something other than the axe, you can use a bound sword and get the conjuration perks related to bound weapons. You could dual wield one of these with your forsworn axe and choose the dual wielding perks in the one-handed tree, or you could use 2 bound swords if you want to. 40% health will be plenty to keep you alive, and 20% stamina will allow for the convenient extra power attack, more sprinting, and more rolling in sneak mode. Remember that your magicka, stamina, and health can all be buffed using your own personalized enchantments that you decide on depending on how you want to play. In terms of a standing stone, we find the Lord Stone to be a great pick, as well as the Atronach Stone. These are both great endgame stones to protect you against damage, however for leveling as fast as possible with this build you'll want to use the Lover Stone. When it comes to faction choices, the Witch Doctor can join a massive variety depending on the backstory you want to use. When we first created this build in 2013, we never made a backstory. What we want to do then is hold a competition over on our Elder Scrolls community on Imzy. The link is in the description if you want to join the community, and after entering your email address, I'll have you manually approved myself. The website is still in beta, but it's really cool and we've been able to score invites, so be sure to come along. If you want to write a backstory, the only place to do it will be within the official backstory thread. Any backstories posted elsewhere will be removed so the community is clean for everyone using it. If anyone writes a really good backstory, I think we'll put it in the description of this video. That said, you can use any other backstories you find on Imzy. Back to factions, if you make a darker Witch Doctor, then the Dark Brotherhood is definitely an option, and if you decide to use Pickpocket instead of Restoration, then perhaps the Thieves Guild is something you'd be interested in. The College of Winterhold is definitely a great faction choice for anyone playing this build, and if someone wants to add a whole new dimension to the character, you could make her a werewolf by completing the companion storyline. Personally, however, I did not make my Witch Doctor a werewolf. And that wraps up this build, the Witch Doctor. Thank you so much for watching, and be sure to subscribe for more Skyrim content, such as Let's Plays coming soon. The link to our Elder Scrolls community is in the description if you want to go chat about Elder Scrolls, or if you want to post an awesome Witch Doctor backstory. Social media links are also in the description, alongside the perk link we made for this build. Thanks again for tuning in, my name is Michael, and I'll see you all next time.